Hi guys, happy Thursday. So, alright, I wanted to do the Craft Legacy review. So, alright, starts out very lighthearted, starts out with three girls. They're witches, they can only do, so much magic because they don't have their fourth, which is earth, air, fire, water. This girl comes, she's water, same as Sarah from the first one, from the first craft. Go into this movie without thinking about the OG craft. Completely wipe it out of your heads and watch this film. And then go back and think, okay, how can I connect this to the first OG craft? That's where you're going to find out a lot of really interesting information. So, Little Miss Risk, Tristan Risky, whom I adore. So she, obviously I'm going to, watch something that somebody like that will recommend. So I do recommend watching it. It's very interesting. It is very interesting. The diversity. So we have diversity, we have transgender, we have gay, we have straight, we have, I think, maybe lesbian, bisexual. I mean, it is all inclusive. It's not scary. It doesn't feel like a sequel. Only for the fact that it does feel like a sequel because I don't even know why. Well, because it does tie into the first craft. So when you get to the very end, you'll understand why. So spoiler alert, spoiler alert. I'm a big spoiler alert. I spoil things. So the girl, she moves to wherever, California, I think, and they, find out that, okay, wow, she can do things. She just started her period, so she's going into womanhood. So they give her, this bath and, the magic. I should have never said anything about the blue flame because that was her power. So it was very interesting. It was fun. It was a very fun, it's almost a fun family movie. It's about, taking back your power, taking back, what other people take from you, standing your ground, and especially in this time right now, this time that we live in, that was perfect. So it was basically toppling the male patriarchy, whatever, yeah. So they did totally topple them. So they had, cause the other, the girl and her mom move into, the family, or this house, and the stepdad is, to me, it was like some sort of alchemists, pagan group where he had power. So the dad had power, the stepdad, so he saw that power in her, tried to get her to reprimanded her for sticking up for herself, and etc., etc., etc. He didn't want her to stick up for herself. So they do spells on people. They do a spell on some guy, and they put special stones in his bong. I thought that was great, incorporating that aspect of popular culture into what is very obviously known around the world and in the United States, the whole marijuana thing. But I just thought that was pretty amazing. And the guy, he came clean, and he started to, really, just his emotions were overflowing. And then he dies, he kills himself. And so three of them, without the new girl that came, they bind their powers because they know that they're doing stuff that is gonna, it's gonna have bad effects. It's gonna have a bad side effect. So that's what I really liked. They took responsibility for what they were doing. The girls did. The one girl came into her own power when she completely left, when she had to move away from her coven. It was, they left on good terms. They were loving, and, I love yous, and it just got really good. It was sentimental. There was a few romantic, little snippets in there that were pretty good. But, I mean, if you're sick or something, like right now with me with this head cold, and you really want a good, nice movie to watch, and it's a little witchy, it's, and I don't really consider it a sequel. But it does tie into the first craft about, they are more responsible than, Bonnie, Rachel, and Nancy were, and Sarah. So yeah, it's kind of like a total twist. And then, So we have all of this good stuff. They have, going out in nature. They have that scene. You can compare that to The Craft. The butterflies, but only this time everything freezes. Completely frozen. It was beautiful. So they, got a taste of power. And then they said, all right, we know we're doing something wrong. We know we have to, take some of this back. So they bound themselves. And then they bound her. Well, they unbound her. And they went and they found her when the stepdad, the top of the male patriarchy, they knew their telepathic messages. They knew what was going on with her. So they unbound her, and then they unbound themselves. So they could fight against this, evil, I wouldn't say evil, a darker force, a completely darker force than what they were standing for. He was standing for, pure power. And that led to rage and hate and, a tyrannical father figure. So, he gets sucked into hell, or wherever he went. No clue. Alright, then she finds out she's adopted. Who's her real mother? Why does her birth certificate say Lilith? Who's Lilith? Now, when she goes at the very end, she wants to see. She finds out she's adopted, alright, Lilith, blah, 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 etc., etc. Her mother's name's Helen. Alright, so she goes, she takes the papers, and she's walking into what looks like a hospital, a mental hospital. And what turns out, she says, what's your relation, the lady. We didn't get to hear that part, so we don't know. She walks in, she opens the door to this, padded room. And there's a woman sitting there in a chair with long black hair. And she asks the woman in the chair, she asks, who are you? And she goes, I'm your daughter. The woman turns around. Who is it? Fairuza Balk. Nancy. Nancy's still in the loony bin, guys. She's been in there since The Craft, the first one, so it's been a long time. She's been in there since 1998. But Nancy supposedly had a daughter. How did Nancy have a daughter? Now, and then in the first Craft, now go back to the first Craft at the very end when she's chained, or she's not chained, but she's, they have the padded wrist cuff. She's, restrained, Nancy. And she's saying she has power and she can fly. And the nurse, what does she tell her? No, he gave you something, alright, but it wasn't power. I wonder what she got. I wonder how that all conspired for her to have a child. So, Nancy has a child. And at the very end, she's that's the best. The whole movie's good, don't get me wrong. But when you get to the end, it's like, I did not see that coming. I personally thought, because of the previews, when she lifts up the picture and she sees Nancy going crazy, I thought, okay, there's going to be a cameo. Fairuza, she's going to be in here somehow or some way. So I was right on that one. Everybody else was like, no, none of the first, cast is going to make any kind of an appearance in the second one, but she did. So it was pretty amazing. But yeah. So that's pretty much my review. Taking back your power, standing your ground, toppling the male patriarchy, not letting somebody treat you like crap, being, being yourself, being accepted, being loved, having friends, and being able to move away in peace. So, it literally, I don't know what it is. Is it a sequel? Is it a continuation of just, a continuation of what? But I totally understand it. So, The Craft Legacy. So, yeah, of course it's going to be Legacy. Nancy and the one, the new girl that moves. So, I really want to know. There's got to be a third movie coming. There has to be. Because I want to know more about Nancy and her daughter. I want to know this, this relationship. Do they get along? How's Nancy? Does she know? Was she sedated when she gave birth? So yeah, I don't know. But I like it. I love it. Actually, I do love it. It's a good movie. It's a very good movie. I was very hesitant at first to actually rent it because it's $19.99 to rent for 48 hours. So I have 28 more hours as of right now. 27 more hours right now to watch it. So I have a couple more times to watch it. But I think it was amazing. It was very well It's almost like a TV. It was almost like a pilot series for a very awesome TV show series, like a Netflix series. That's what that reminded me of, because it was scattered. It's not put together that well. Like, the timeline is kind of funky, but I mean, it was pretty amazing. So that's my review of The Craft, The Legacy. I just thought it was pretty interesting. Yeah, so I don't want to spoil too much for anybody, but yeah, not a sequel. I don't know what. A pilot episode for a series? We can hope, right? So, but yeah, they take more responsibility in this one. So more responsibility, more, empowering themselves. But it still has the same kind of baseline as the very first OG Craft. So more empowerment, female empowerment, coming into your own. Her having her period, she came into her own. She became a woman. She entered womanhood. Initiation into this next chapter of her life. So it was pretty interesting. It was very amazing. So, I mean, honestly, I give it 5 stars because I found it to be incredibly well made. Except for the timelines. I want to know, why did it end that way? I have questions. I have too many questions. Why did it end this way? What happens? What does Nancy do? Where's Nancy's mom? Did she pass away? Where's the other girls? What are they doing? Why aren't they, do they ever come to see Nancy in that insane asylum? That's what I want to know. So, what do you guys think? I give it 5 stars. I give it 5 pentagrams. So, that's my opinion, and I know a lot of people are gonna not like it. But I like kind of like cheesy movies. But it wasn't really cheesy, it was good. So that's up for you guys to decide. So alright guys, there's my review. I don't know. If I think of anything else, I'll probably do another one. But no, I won't. I just want to know if there's going to be a third one. There has to be a third one because of Nancy in the end. So, alright guys. So, I hope you guys enjoy it. If you don't waste your money. I enjoyed it thoroughly. And I'm very, very hard and picky with my movies. So, but it was good. So, alright guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I love you. I had a great day in chat today with you guys. Feeling a little better with, your guys' help and love and all your guys' energy. It makes me so much better. So, I love you guys. All the way from Venus all the way back down. And I will see you guys tomorrow. So, let me know what you guys think. Click the bell down there below and click subscribe and you will get all my notifications. I love you guys.